Public service announcement, Airbnb is collapsing as we know it. In this video, we're going to be reacting to not only the business owners of Airbnbs and why the collapse has happened, but also some people who have had very unexpected Airbnbs that have left them mad and going back to hotels. So stick throughout this whole entire video because not only are we going to review these videos, but I want to hear your thoughts as well. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below as we watch these videos. Let's go.
Airbnb is a perfect example of what happens when you prioritize your shareholders over your customer experience. When Airbnb first came out, it was seen as kryptonite to the hotel industry. They were expanding rapidly, had easy check-in processes, had good customer service that always went in the way of the guests, and they were much more affordable. Hotels even began jumping on the trend for a little bit as well. Around 2016, their NPS score was 70, which was 30 points higher than hotel chains. The NPS score means your net promoter score, which is how likely someone is to refer you to their friends. So this was a strong metric compared to industry averages. And most complaints were around specific host behavior, not the actual platform itself. And then in 2020, what do you know? Airbnb went private. They had their IPO, raised a ton of money, got a bunch of new shareholders, and started to shift their priorities. In an effort to expand how many properties they had, they started to lower the requirements for hosts. They had less stringent security measures. Cleaning fees got even more ridiculous in an effort to placate the hosts. And customer support rarely went in the way of the guest. They started to side more with the host, as is seen by their NPS score, which dropped from a fantastic 70 to a ridiculously low 25 to 35, lower than the hotel industry, which is around 40. What has happened recently is quite clear. People have fallen out of love with Airbnb because the costs are becoming more expensive or as expensive than hotels without the service of hotels. Their entire competitive advantage was affordability, ease, and good customer service. Now the affordability isn't there, the customer service isn't there. The Airbnb CEO himself has said that hotels are the future, and Airbnbs are often shifting to a model where they'll buy an entire building, put a bunch of Airbnbs in there, and it's basically a faux hotel. I am very bullish on hotels because people are continuing and increasingly wanting high-touch premium services. As the world shifts more online, people are going to crave human interaction, which hotels can provide. They want the service, they want the care that comes with the hotels, and since the affordability is the same between hotels and Airbnbs, they'll take the care any day of the week. Airbnb should have continually leaned into what they are known for: good host, seamless check-ins, good customer support, and affordability. Instead, they're adding experiences because they know that their core product sucks. Airbnb may continue to grow, but if I had to make a prediction, I would be more bullish on hotels in the coming years, so long as they improve their customer experiences as well.
I don't know about you, but I thought the ending was a little bit funny. So apparently Airbnbs have moved further away from customer satisfaction to host satisfaction. Airbnb, well, they're the middleman. They're allowing someone who shows ownership of a property to be able to rent it out, and they connect the customer, the person who wants to live somewhere in a home or an apartment or wherever, and the person who has the property. It's like you can't play tug of war too much on the right side or the left side. You gotta, it has to be a sweet ground. But let me know, have you ever ordered an Airbnb? I personally have ordered 2. I had a great experience with one. And with that one great experience, it was an apartment. It was pretty nice. It was 2 floors. It was clean. And that is really on the host. It really isn't on Airbnb to clean anything in the apartment, but it was really nice. As opposed to the first time that I had an Airbnb, I had chosen a cabin. It was, I think, my anniversary with my girlfriend, or it was her birthday or something. And I decided to surprise her and take her to basically the middle of nowhere. Like, I didn't know it was in the middle of nowhere, but it was a cabin, had a nice view, awesome pictures. It looked luxurious. I was just very disappointed with the quality of the pictures compared to the actual Airbnb. And this is an Airbnb that had good reviews. Now, I didn't fight the owner and try to get my money back because I still understood, well, you know, this is a different type of season. It may not be green leaves everywhere and green grass. It's kind of colder, you know? So, hey, the trees might be naked, you know? But let me know in the comment section down below, have you ever had a bad experience with Airbnb on the customer side? Some people in the comments said, the last time I stayed in an Airbnb, they left a list of cleaning chores and still charged a cleaning fee. That killed it for me. Now, personally, I have cleaned both Airbnbs that I lived in. I don't know if there was a cleaning fee involved in it, but I know as a whole that I could afford to stay at that Airbnb. Another person in the comment section said, this is why a regulated hotel industry existed. So many businesses are profiting by outsourcing the capital required to do business onto the consumer, who they convinced to rent out their private property, all for a fee to the company. So basically, they're having you pay for the cleaning fees and to stay there. It's absolutely mind-boggling to see companies like Airbnb, Uber, DoorDash, etc. thrive, and they don't have to invest a dime into capital goods. So she has a really good point. That model also is in DoorDash, and DoorDash is a company that you download an app on your phone and you use your car. They don't pay for your maintenance. They don't pay for your gas. They don't even pay for the food that's delivered. They pay for connecting the person who's hungry and connecting the person who wants to make money. And honestly, I think it's a beautiful business model. I'm not going to hate on those companies because I think it's a beautiful business model. That's what comes with technology or just innovative thinking. But what are your thoughts about this? Do you like companies that don't cover what it costs to maintain a piece of property in the real world?
My buddy called me up to let me know his Airbnbs are making no money at all. And he's losing money, and he's desperately trying to sell them down in Florida and wants to know what he should do. This is the same guy that called me up and said, why are you telling people to get out of Florida and sell in Florida? And this was 2 years ago. I said, I warned you. I told you what was coming. And now you want to know what you can do? You're too late. You're too late. Because the price that you have to sell at now, you're going to lose money. So you know what's going to happen to those 3 properties you have? You're going to lose them.
I wouldn't want him to be my friend. Like, yeah, you told me some advice, but don't tell me that you told me so. Like, that doesn't help the situation, right? But on a more serious note, I've never been the biggest person to invest in or start a business, invest in a business or start a business that takes a lot of debt. Like, I just don't like that idea because from day one, you're obligated to make the money show up. Otherwise, you're going to have those interest rates. I'm not sure if you actually own those homes or not, but I'm just not the biggest fan of starting a business based off of debt. And I understand some business models you do that in, but I mean, like, we live in America, like, you have choices.
I have never once in all of my time of using this app complained about a brand or a company because it would take them doing something completely immoral for me to even bring it up. But the experience that I just had with Airbnb is beyond me insane. So grab your popcorn, do your makeup, whatever you want to do, listen to this story, because if you're a woman that uses Airbnb to travel alone, or you're a man, doesn't even matter. It's unsafe for everybody. But speaking from experience, you might want to reconsider using Airbnb. Like, I will never use Airbnb again after this. Let me paint the scene. So I had to go to New York for a funeral. Already not a fun time, but I get to my Airbnb and there's the cleaning lady. She's still there. Even though this goes against their policies of having someone in the unit upon entry, I didn't care about this. I was just like, finish your job, whatever, la la la. And I jump into the bed in the Airbnb and I start looking at TikToks, and then 10 minutes later, she's gone. 10 minutes pass and I hear the rustling of a doorknob. I hear someone trying to get into a unit. Mind you, this is a big house and it's a duplex, so there are a few units in this place. I don't even know how many. So I just immediately assumed that someone was trying to get into one of the other units based on how old the house was and how hollow it was. I just didn't think anything of it. And then I hear beep, 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 and I'm like, that sounds a lot like someone typing in a code to unlock a door. So I go out into the hallway of the Airbnb, and what do I find? It is a 6'5" beefy dude. Scary looking, okay? Any man would be scary looking in this situation, but he was like all on his own scary looking. So I'm trying not to freak out, but I'm like, hey, what's up? What are you doing here? And he says, I'm looking for my ID. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not the host. I think you should call the host about this. You have to leave. And I'm still being nice, but he's now in the apartment with the door shut behind him, not leaving. And he's telling me, well, can you just go look? Can you just go look for my ID? I walk backwards into the living room because I don't want to turn my back to this dude. And I'm looking in the apartment for his ID. And I'm like, nope, I'm sorry, it's not here. You have to call the host. And again, you got to leave. He pauses. He looks at me up and down. And then he's like, are you sure that it's not here? Now, I don't know what the fuck you're trying to get at, dude, but like you need to leave. I was like, at that point I was freaking out, and I was basically just like backing him into the door and opening it up on my own to get him out. And by the grace of God, after 10 minutes of telling this man, this stranger, to leave the Airbnb, he finally leaves. I immediately call the host. She is not only unapologetic, but she then tells me that, oh, she doesn't change the code to the back door because there's a chain lock. Does it look like there's a chain lock on this door? I don't know, I could only tell because there was a stranger in my fucking Airbnb. So basically what she was saying, what she was admitting, was that anybody that has ever stayed at this Airbnb has had access to this Airbnb at any time on any given day. So I immediately leave. I already feel unsafe. I'm like, this is 10 minutes into being here. Like, I have no idea what could happen at night. I'm freaking out. It's not a nice part of upstate New York that I'm staying in. So I leave and I immediately contact Airbnb support. Why they call it support, I have no clue at all. If their job is to make you frustrated, gaslight you, and make you exhausted, and to the point where like you just completely give up on getting a refund or getting a hotel, they're really, really, really good at that. And I guess they're really good at that even in scenarios where they have violations of their own policies that go against your rights for having safety and privacy in an Airbnb. So 6 hours later, after arguing with Airbnb support, they finally agree to put me up in a hotel. It's now 9 o'clock at night, mind you. It is 20 degrees in upstate New York, and I just consider myself very blessed that I had family that could pick me up and take me to their place while I waited to get a hotel. So at 9, they approve me to get a hotel, and then they tell me that they're not giving me a refund for the 20 minutes that I spent in this Airbnb. 30 minutes, I don't even know, but most of that time that I spent in that Airbnb, I was just frightened. Mind you, I am carrying all of my work equipment. I'm carrying my expensive camera gear, I'm carrying all of my hard drives, and I'm carrying my memory cards. And I'm not going to mention the worst thing that could happen because I don't want to think about that. Let's just say I was very lucky in this scenario. So here we are 2 weeks later. I've been arguing with Airbnb support this entire time. 2 weeks later. They said upon further investigation, they can't give me a full refund. They also never followed up about this particular Airbnb and how they were going to change the code for every new tenant. So I'm assuming that any person that books out that particular Airbnb will now be in danger and they won't know anything about it. Airbnb, I hope that you hear this. Your customers deserve better. Start taking responsibility for your failures because safety is not negotiable.
Bottom line is Airbnb is a business, and I believe it's a great model, but there's just too many factors that you just don't have control over. For example, if you compare it to DoorDash, nobody's going to be mad if you're driving a different car dropping off someone's food to their front door. It doesn't change the way their food tastes. It doesn't make their food get there faster. As a matter of fact, the reason why I know this is because I've done this doing DoorDash before. Back when I used the DoorDash, I'm like using my girl's car or even my car sometimes, whichever was more convenient. Nobody ever really complained. But Airbnb, people are staying in something that you own. Now, some people in the comment section said Holiday Inn Express. I'm back to it. Free breakfast, it's clean, there's a pool, and you can leave without having to do dishes, wash sheets, and it's cheaper than Airbnb. Airbnb is an option compared to hotels. And we always get hotels that have food. We always get hotels that have good reviews because I want to sleep good at night. I value my sleep. I value my safety. And we all value our money that we work hard for. So why put it into something that's going to allow you to have a roof over your head, but you have random people walking in your home? That's crazy. And I know it's not your home, but come on now. Another person commented, I booked a cabin for my birthday and the hosts were living in a secret attic we found on accident. They didn't disclose that at all. That is crazy. I'm moving out immediately. I'm getting my money back immediately. I thought I would have found some critters up here, but instead I found you. You got it, man. You got it.
I can actually stay here for a month, and you won't be able to do jack shit about it. Yeah?
Hey, Paul here. I want to see if you're checked out. It's past the checkout time.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Paul. Nope, I haven't checked out yet.
Well, when are you planning on checking out? The place is already booked because someone's going to show up there in about 2 hours.
You know what? I might just stay here for a while.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to stay here for as long as I want.
Okay.
I can actually stay here for a month, and you won't be able to do jack shit about it.
Ah, a month you say?
I sure do. You know what? You might think that's kind of funny, but trust me, I know what I'm doing. You won't be acting so smug in a couple days.
Okay. So listen, hey, why don't you just pack up, get out, and we'll pretend this never happened.
And what if I don't?
Well, I'll have to call the cops, and you can explain everything to them.
Bring it on. Like I said, I know what I'm doing.
All right, then. Let me make this clear to you one last time. I will call the cops, and they will show up.
You know what? Go ahead and do whatever the you want. I'm right here, and I'm not going anywhere.
Nice.
What just happened? What just happened? People have such entitlement when it comes down to spending their money when they don't own anything that they spent their money on. One person commented in the comment section and said, I had a renter do me that same way. It was about mid-July and 100 degrees out. I went and checked on the central unit on the outside of the home. Wouldn't you know, it had problems. They moved out in 4 days. Now, I had to read this comment over after I took a screenshot of it because I was like, what do you mean the outside unit had a problem? I went and checked on it. This guy was smart enough to cut off the AC to smoke them out. That is, yo, if that's not a genius idea, I don't know what is. It's like, yo, the people don't want to leave my home, so let me have the home be so uncomfortable that they want to leave.
So we waited to get into an Airbnb in New York just for the Airbnb to look like this.
Yes, we in.
Look at the sink. Look at the open bottles. Look at the dirty towel.
I can do everything through the phone. I won't hang up at any time at all.
There's cameras everywhere. This is disgusting. Open bottles, random towel. Like this is disgusting.
First of all, I know it's stinking there. There's no way you got a sink full of dishes and it don't stink. Second of all, I would have left. There is no way I'm even waiting for somebody to clean because that's taken away from the time that I'm supposed to be in a clean Airbnb. But the great thing about a hotel is that they have the cleaning people right there. Airbnb is totally different. They have to hire people to come out there, outsource it, and clean it. A person in the comment section said, y'all are really acting up. It was clearly a cleaning schedule issue. No big deal. Airbnb will fix it up and have a new place, but y'all are acting up. And then the creator responded and said, acting up how? Were you there? He had keys outside in a lockbox for self-check-in, and all the keys were stolen on top of this. Now, this is just icing on the cake. If you have keys that's outside of the Airbnb and all the keys were stolen, I wouldn't feel safe, even as a man. At a certain point, I gotta go to sleep. If I hear somebody coming in downstairs, you better bet I'm ready to be aggressive. But who wants to do that when they are using their hard-earned money to have a place to stay and you are convinced that it is safe, that it is clean? It's not even clean. That's like the bare minimum. The other half is knowing that nobody else can walk in besides you and whoever is coming with you. That there's no excuse why that should even be happening. Another person commented, people are saying that she's dramatic. How? She's a paying customer. You have every right to be mad when you don't get what you pay for.
No. So y'all got me so f***ed up because now you charge me at 12 o'clock at night. You tell me that I pretty much spent the night here. You sent me this message at 12 o'clock in the morning and I've been on the phone with y'all since 9.
Yeah, that was my sister crashing out in the first clip, rightfully so, because this Airbnb was a hot mess. That right there. So walking in, everything looked okay, but it had a little funny smell. And then you see this little ass couch. I'm like, who's supposed to be sitting on that? So I go to the kitchen. The kitchen look okay. The bedrooms look okay. But mind you, I'm just quickly walking through. Everything looks okay. But then I go to the bathroom. The toilet ain't working. Lights flickering. Then my niece points out that it's a crack in the ceiling. I'm like, what the hell? The paint is tripping on the wall. I went to the other bathroom. It's missing handles. The knobs on the drawers was loose. The doorknobs was loose. It looked like they was trying to renovate the place, but it didn't go so well. I almost cut my foot. This didn't have any rubber. The shower head looks so disgusting. Got missing blinds like we in the project. This is what really pissed me off. I go to the kitchen. I see cans of tuna. The potatoes is what really frightened me. These sprouted ass potatoes and these dirty ass knives. Come back to part 2 because it gets worse than this.
You had me at the shower being dirty, almost cutting your foot, the blinds being missing, and the busted door. It seems like every Airbnb we reviewed has some type of vulnerability with safety. Whether it's keys being stolen, somebody having the key code and walking in the Airbnb, or this, a busted door. Make that make sense. Who wants to live in a place where they don't feel safe? It doesn't come with the contract. You know what I'm saying? She almost cut her foot off of floor work. Something that they could avoid if the owner were to take better care of their home. Someone said stop because we were just in one and there were spiders that bit me and roaches. You had me at roaches. I would have been out because if you see a roach, there's going to be a lot more roaches. Okay. And they're going to be playing hide and seek with you. Okay. I would have been out. Immediate refund. We booked for 2 months and then left a week and they refused to refund. These people paid thousands of dollars to live in a home without the roaches included. Now, a spider I can take care of. Take my shoe off. Bow. I can get a spider. Spider ain't gonna remove me from it. And plus, they hide. They can be anywhere, right? You can't really, like, a spider is, I can get a spider. A roach? Nah. See, that's where my OCD kicks in. I'm like, yo, the hairs on my arms stand up when I see a roach. Another person commented, wait, I swear this is the same Airbnb we stayed in and went to Denver in. The couch split in half while we were there. I don't even know how that happens. The only time I've seen a couch split in half is in an apocalypse movie. That doesn't even make sense. It was last year when we stayed there. And then other people commented, I'm guessing this is his friends. And someone commented, it is. And then the next person commented, I knew that door entry immediately. So your home is known to have a busted door entry. Another person commented, it's worse off when we were there. Deep down inside, I was mad and didn't want to tell y'all how mad I was. Now, if your friends, the people you get along with, didn't want to tell you how mad they were about an Airbnb, that goes to show the owner's a little trifling.
This Airbnb, like, this is just excessive. This isn't my talk, yo. Let me show y'all this. Look at this. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm about to get out of here, bro. Look at this. This isn't my talk, yo. Like, this is not even like what? It's literally signs everywhere like, anywhere you literally go, it's a sign, yo. Like, what is this? I gotta get out of this place. I feel like I'm under surveillance, yo.
Bro is literally the guy from Get Out. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. It looked like they had a direction or a rule for everything you could have done with a home. He won't even complain about the quality. They said the hot water turns off after like 8 minutes. Imagine a hotel telling you can only use but so much hot water. Look, the truth is, you run out of hot water, you run out of hot water. But if you're that particular about your home, raise the prices. Raise the prices so it can cover those costs. Because why else would you be worried about hot water? I really want to go back and see what the other signs were saying. Because bro was literally like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. So what's this sign say? This sign says, please do not spray, apply perfume, cologne, or body oils in this studio. Please apply outside. Like, bro, like what? That's called bug spray. At that point, you ain't even got to worry about your perfume. The spray that you spray outside is usually like bug spray and stuff. Like, come on, man. What's the... Oh my gosh. Hold on. Here we go with the shower sticker right here. Please help to conserve water. Hot water shuts off after 8 minutes. What? Is this an Airbnb or a homeless shelter? Like, make it make sense. And if you ever lived in a homeless shelter, that's no shade. I'm just, having a little fun up here. So subscribe if you like these type of videos, by the way. All right, let's go ahead. This one says, to avoid the growth of mold, please leave the shower door open after showering. I can get that. Nobody wants mold in their home. And honestly, a lot of people don't know how to prevent mold from the shower. So, I can get that. All right, here's this last one that I see right here. Because bro literally walked into a manual. He walked into a manual. Please do not spray cologne. Please do not spray cologne. Something, something, something in room. So it's another cologne sign, apparently. But look, I like cologne. I like cologne. I like people smelling me before they see me in a good way, and it does make me feel a lot more professional. I have a very good sense of smell. So I pick up on smells easily. I just love a good cologne, a good masculine, strong cologne. But this right here, my boy walked into a manual. A person commented, I feel like the owner might have OCD. You think so? I think so too. I got a little bit of OCD, but I ain't gonna be saying all that, man. Like, what? So if you like these type of videos, definitely subscribe and make sure that you watch this video next that's showing up, because you're going to actually understand why so many people are in debt. I'll see you in the next video.